Sonic Rumble has globally been out for a couple of months now, and man, this game had a terrible lead up to launch. The game was basically region locked for almost an entire year, with numerous delays to rub salt into the wound, mixed with a heavy lack of communication. However, the game is out now, and it's kinda just alright. I played the game for almost the entirety of November, but I never really opened the game after that. The last time I booted it up was on Black Friday to buy Tangled. Sonic Rumble is kinda just boring after a while. The maps are really repetitive and don't have that great level design. Sonic Fall Guys is a really cool concept, however, it doesn't lean into it enough, and what makes Sonic unique. Instead, only really taking from the automated portions of Sonic, such as homing attack chains, dash pads, and springs. The levels get really boring to play after a while, because all of them either feel the same, or feel like they're copying Fall Guys. On top of that, the character selection is pretty sad. Sure, we got some good ones. There are some deep cuts like Tangle and Whisper, Emerl, and Dodonpa. We have cool skins representing stuff like Yoshi's Woolly World, Riders, and the movies. However, we're missing a lot of base characters. No Omega, no Infinite, no Mephiles, no Chaos Zero, no Tikal, no Gamma, no Maria. Yeah, I could keep going. On top of that, the skins we have are kind of just generic whatever skins and don't have a ton of established skins, like maybe a Boom outfit, for example. And considering that pretty much all of this stuff is in Sonic Forces Speed Battle, I'm pretty sure we can get this stuff in the game. It all depends on whether they want to add it or not. However, if I do praise one thing about the game, it's the music. The soundtrack is actually kinda stacked. I'd say it's just below Sonic Runners, which if you don't know anything about Sonic Runners, let's just say that's high praise. However, I have yet to mention the biggest flaw of the game, the over-aggressive monetization. This game has a lot of in-app purchases, multiple battle passes, skin bundles, and an in-game currency that costs real-life money. However, all of that makes sense. It's a free game, so they have to do this if they want to make a profit. That I'm fine with. However, the prices of these items is genuinely baffling. A basic skin will usually cost 300 red star rings. That costs 20 IRL dollars. $20 for a low tier skin is genuinely insane. I could buy Cuphead, Hollow Knight Silksong, Celeste, Sonic Mania, or frickin' Extreme Rider Sonic. Then the high tier skins, the most expensive ones, if you want to purchase one, it costs $65. Nah, you gotta be joking with me. That is the cost of a full price game for one mediocre skin for a mediocre game. Look man, I play loads of mediocre games. Shadow Labyrinth, Gran Turismo 7, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Minecraft Dungeons, Disney Illusion Island. However, all of those games have a similar trend. All of them cost less than a legendary skin in Sonic Rumble. Genuinely, these prices are some of the worst in any mobile game. This is a horrible business practice that preys on stupid children, or stupid man-children, in order to milk every dollar out of their wallet. I see a lot of Sonic fans defend this stuff with stuff like, other free-to-play games do this too, but when Sonic does it, that's when people start making a fuss. And the thing is with that, first off, I don't care when other games do it because I don't play these other games. Secondly, just because Sonic isn't the first to do it, doesn't mean it shouldn't be criticized. This pricing definitely puts a black mark on this game, and telling people to stop making a fuss is incredibly stupid, especially when this is for a franchise that has changed a ton from fan feedback. The biggest example being the frickin' Sonic movie. We all remember Ugly Sonic, and how we bullied Paramount to change it. We also have had full-on Sonic games developed by fan game developers, with Sonic Mania and Origins being developed by fans. Also, Sonic Racing Crossworlds being constantly supported with DLC and updates after we complained about Team Sonic Racing being dead on arrival. Speaking out about bad business practices is how we get companies to change, and telling people to shut up and stop complaining is just going to let companies win and let them keep charging you more and more for less and less. And this is not to hate on anyone who plays Sonic Rumble or pays for the game. I get why you like it. I think a good comparison is the Switch 2. That also, ironically enough, had terrible pricing for the games, accessories, and stuff like that. However, instead of taking the fight to Nintendo, people will instead make this a battle of consumers and dunking on the fanboys, instead of actually addressing the problem and trying to make a change. So instead of trying to fight Sonic fans on Twitter, which is never going to work, if you don't want to support Sega, then don't. You're not obligated to support this company. I'd say if you don't like Rumble's pricing, either continue to play the game, but don't spend a penny on it, or just don't play the game at all. That's the best way to see change. However, to end off this video on a more positive note, I'd like to talk about what they could do to have Sonic Rumble changed. I think the best way you can save Sonic Rumble is to take 2 easy steps. 1. Port the game to all modern consoles. It's already on PC, so I don't think it's out of the question. All it would do is widen the player base. 2. Either drastically reduce the prices in the shop to make them more reasonable, or 2. Add a price tag to the game, making it a $10 to $20 release, and making all the skins unlockable by playing the game. This would result in a much more enjoyable experience for me and many others, and this way, they could ensure the longevity of the game, instead of it dying out like Sonic Runners. However, that's all from me. I know this is a pretty big departure from my usual videos, as I usually don't get this negative. However, if you enjoyed it, I might have this content style return in the future. But that's all from me. Peace.